Welcome back to Smokers Reloaded.
This is the AA meeting.
So what's your difficulty on?
I don't know. Can't you? Don't you change it before it?
F1. Go to system. I mean, you just saved, right?
Yeah.
Probably need to go to options. If not, then you need to go back to the main menu. Okay, I think you need to go back to the main menu and check.
I think you can change it back.
Well, I have never changed mine, so...
Alright, let's go in. Welcome to the end of the Brotherhood Saga!
The end of the Brotherhood Saga.
Ahem, so is everyone ready to what? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Toko's not here.
Huh? And Toko is?
Huh?
You really don't remember?
She's that forgettable.
Come
Exactly.
on! Kidding. I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here, kicking and screaming. Just 1 moment, please.
And just like that.
I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. Terrible! You're all terrible!
Phew.
Whew. So now everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle onto the elevator and let's get this rolling.
I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Shall we get going?
She was so gentle, so calm, and meek. No problems of her.
See his corpse.
And that murders one of us, standing right here. Let's go.
It's true.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. The steel box sank to the heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper. As we got deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation, until finally, it came to a sudden stop. Also, this video will probably be an hour.
I think it's gonna be more than an hour.
Well, hour for this video, and then an hour for the second half.
Yeah.
What do you think? I redecorated it. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very nice.
Good. You're raring to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Not at all.
Well,
Okay, then let's get this show on the road.
chills, kills!
Everyone, please find your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened once again. Deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial!
Set skills. You have skills.
Alright.
From Chihiro, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. We only have those skills. Alright.
I mean, that's better than one. Alright.
Let's
Dude, just
begin with a basic
Don't.
explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine if you can figure out who and I. Okay, let's talk about.
The dealer's final blow. Alright, remember, you're supposed to help me.
Okay, I can help. Locker room dumbbell, so that's the weapon they use. So, you know, obviously it's gonna be something about the
Chihiro's
weapon.
fatal injury.
Correct.
It appears it was a head wound.
Yep.
Yeah,
According to the
it's true.
Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Uh-oh.
No, you're supposed to find a liar contradiction.
I know!
Hero's fatally it appears.
That's
According
not.
to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No. If I waited one more!
Remember, you can use space to slow time down.
I don't know.
Can we agree
It's
that
all
the
well,
object
though.
that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? Found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room.
You looked at her head wound?
That's so
Look at his face.
I know.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack.
Penis serial killer. Alright. Oh, no! No! No!
Okay, I can help you.
It's
either
white
way.
noise. It's white noise, I believe.
Oh,
The
well, I mean,
culprit
aren't
is
you on
Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it.
You're on-
Case closed, as far as I'm...
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on!
I'm pretty sure just give me
There's
the
just
next one.
no
to say.
proof for it.
Yeah.
There it is.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong!
Objection! This is Phoenix, right? Get it
Might know
right.
one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library.
He's assuming genders.
I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What
Oh.
was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in the first is that a bloody message is found written.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
What?
No.
Ooh,
It's
bless.
actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other
do you
characteristic.
mean?
And it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them?
That's a hanging.
I got it!
I got it!
Apparently, other than the kill.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
No. No.
So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police There's only one logical answer,
Ooh.
It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
Oh.
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes. In fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
Got him!
He's so calm, dude.
Okay, wait,
Yes,
hold on a sec.
Toko.
Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of
Bloodophobia
serial
would be
killer
like-
is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Toko, not be Toko. Yep.
How do Toko not be Toko? It's called multiple.
Oh no!
Oh, this Hangman's Gambit is insanely hard. I don't even remember it. It was so retarded. Do L, I think. Do L. Oh,
Schizophrenic.
no, it's like Shizwo. Shizo.
Now I
Schizophrenic.
understand.
That's not how you're
That's
supposed
hard. That's hard.
To... Yeah, it's
Is
the
it
hardest
because
one
Genocide
yet.
Jack has a split person.
Huh?
I think I
Shizo.
read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? dissociative identity
Shiza.
disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
I got it!
Yeah.
I got it!
Oh, my hearts are so low!
That's right.
Wait, what's your heart's at?
3!
She
Oh wow, you're gonna die on the easiest one, aren't you?
She was acting funny, that's for—
Don't go assigning adjectives.
Not to mention,
I mean,
once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm.
I mean, once I finish, the more you get right, the better you more heal, right?
Yeah.
In other words, within her is one
right,
personality that can handle blood,
you heal
and
half
one
the
that
heart.
obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Ooh.
I hate the flashbacks!
Your
The
biggest
reason she
weakness,
locked
a
herself in her
flashback.
room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How? Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that
What a
right,
dick.
Toko?
I know, right?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone.
But if he didn't, then he's the dick, right?
But in spite of that promise,
You said if I... That's the only
You
reason
go out
I
with me.
promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
But your efforts were useless.
Why is his one
What a
calm, but hers is like
disappointment.
shaking?
I hate
Because
you.
she's in more agony than him.
The opening act is nearly finished.
He's calm right
All
now.
that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you
This is where
don't-
she switches personalities to my favorite character, you know?
Thud. The next second.
Well, hello there. Is it me you were hoping to see? Yes! What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
It's so freaking insane.
Like they say, sound and murderous mind, sound and murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds. Just kidding.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid! And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
Yep.
Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you.
Wow, that's
This
amazing.
murderous fiend is. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
Look at Celeste!
Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, so she had a very clear motive to never have that side of her.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
I like how the ultimate murderous fiend doesn't kill a single person so far. Where I'm at.
What?
You know? How even though Genocide Jill is like the ultimate murderous
but I
fiend,
didn't kill
doesn't
anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What
it
more
doesn't.
proof do
No.
we need?
Give it up.
Why do you love that laugh so much?
Sorry, but I didn't.
You say
Genocide
that.
Jill is like my favorite character.
When you compare the modus
Operandi matches.
Nope!
No, it's wrong.
Modus operandi.
Murder operandi. I've spoken too much of my
Are the
ego.
methods of murder really exactly this? I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this.
Huh? How is it any different?
Oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I
like how
murder with passion
Genocide
and
Jill calls
conviction. I
Papa
consider
TikTok.
myself a professional, and I have a very particular... Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of my...
Let me rephrase that. There are two clear differences between.
Scissors!
I got it! For one, the cause of death is
Don't
different.
react. Scissors, scissors, scissors.
In the
Scissors.
Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is
Yep.
remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the...
Yes.
You see why I like Genocide Jill now?
It was used, right?
I got
It was what was used, because it was
Do
not
you
scissors.
remember what the killer used to suspend her? They'd use some kind of rope to hang her up.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to...
Scissors!
Specifically,
Scissors.
pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
That somehow got into
Guess
the wall.
what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement! Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's 2 differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there,
It's all
just
male,
waiting
right?
to be discovered.
Pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I...
Yes, they're all male.
They're all male.
I got it!
Yes, I must regain my health.
Because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases,
Bingo!
They're all male.
They were all...
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men. I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl! And the movie side of me just hates it! But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line! That's the absolute reality of the one and only—
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make
You
some
still there?
amount of sense.
Yeah.
He just disappeared for a moment.
Whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors.
I'm eating
Who would
like
go out of their
cotton
way to
candy.
use a big, stupid, heavy...
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Are you sure about
Are
that?
you sure about that?
She's fully equipped.
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you, gutter dogs? Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or what.
Someone did know.
Who?
Who told you about the...
Byakuya?
Yup.
here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
He's orgasming.
Well, Byakuya,
Yeah.
what's your response?
I see. So now the
yeah,
suspicion
from now
falls on
on,
me.
Genocide
Then I
Joe
must
calls
ask,
Byakuya
when would you
Max.
say I began acting suspicious? Surely.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange. You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away.
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Alright, is it wait noise? Oh, just left back? What?
I know what the... Yeah, I hate
Oh, yeah.
this feature. It's so bad.
Do you remember which one it was?
I know what we need to be looking for.
It's good enough. I went through the first trial the second time, just not knowing anything, and I still got everything right.
You said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was
you need to
acting
hold
weird.
left click to memorize.
How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take
The
it!
genocide Joe
That's
right
a
next to
natural
it.
reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the...
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was
That's a
Chihiro.
natural reaction.
So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless...
What's so strange? I wish you'd taken me with you.
You have anything? I can't think of anything.
Oh, I know it. I'm just letting you do it.
No, because I don't want to be here for an hour, man. So shut the fuck up and let's do it.
You need to memorize the first one and hit it with the second one.
So, you said
Memorize
Byakuya
this.
was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But
And
he
then
was
hit
acting weird...
What Byakuya
If
said
you're
about
presented with the
Chihiro.
opportunity to...
That's a natural
The victim
Was Chihiro.
who was a
Oh,
girl.
wait. Yeah, because you didn't... Oh,
No, that's wrong.
fuck! You wouldn't know, because you didn't know who the body was!
Unless he was
I'll
the
tell
one
you
who
what's so
fucked
strange about, because
Chihiro.
up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim. So your claim that you went to
Oh,
the
I'm
girls'
so
locker room
retarded.
first because Chihiro was the victim.
Oh, fuck
doesn't hold
you!
up.
Don't worry, the third case is
That's a
much,
good answer,
much
I must
worse.
admit. Interesting.
Did you mess up
Very
that badly?
interesting indeed.
On the third
Your
case,
On the
yeah.
trial, on
Still
these
too
trials.
weak.
Oh, this trial?
Huh?
Yeah, it took me a minute to get
What's
that
wrong?
one.
Is that it?
But
Surely you've
otherwise,
got
it
more
was
than that.
smooth sailing for me.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it.
That's the first time she's spoken!
We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Oh, the cord. The cord.
Yes. It's a pretty big fucking...
Fuck, shut the fuck up.
What? The
Hey,
difference between the
got
cases?
it right, why are you yelling
You
at
want me to
me?
explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Nope.
No, it's wrong.
Are
No!
you sure about
It's wrong!
Objection!
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before.
have seen it
Because you
before.
see, that rope, or should I, that extension cord?
What?
Woo
An
woo.
extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, and the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing and there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this. I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
The comic strip for this one is what really fucked me up.
What's wrong?
Well, it's because I've seen it before, so I know.
That's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that...
I don't disagree with not disagree.
He kept calling this a game, right?
Like the
So he'd be
comic strip
totally
is
willing to
where-
do something like this to win.
Sorry, I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to?
No,
We've already
don't.
decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a
I
homicidal
don't know what the
psychopath.
fuck is wrong with him.
What about all that
Oh
bothers
yeah,
you?
this guy's a fucking sociopath. Like, this guy is fucked up in the brain. He's like, I must make the investigation.
The scene of the crime?
Cool.
I got it!
Yep.
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no
I know
question about
he's
that.
full of shit.
How could the
Oh,
scene
yeah,
of the
you know
crime
he's
have
full
been
of shit.
anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of...
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please
He's
tell
mad
me you
now.
have a reason
He's
for
mad.
saying all that.
I'm
I
starting to
believe I
get
do.
mad.
Did I just take you off your guard?
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place
Is it which one?
Oh, it's the posters.
Alright.
I got it!
I swear to God, if you
Proof
messed me
that
up,
she was
I'd
killed
be
somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in
I
each locker
wanted
room.
to, kinda.
Your proof
is the poster in the girls' locker
That
room
would
was
be
a picture of a
hilarious.
big boobed supermodel.
Big
Don't you
boob.
think that's kind
Big-
of strange?
I like big booty bitches. I like big booty bitches. I like big
Why
booty.
would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile,
I love
the
Genocide
boys'
Jack.
locker room had
It's Genocide Jill.
Fuck off! It's 2019. I don't give a shit about your liberal agenda.
a poster of the
Carson,
super
I
popular
know,
boy.
it's a
Again,
name.
that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker room. You know what I'm talking about, right, Soccer?
You're referring to my
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the bloodstained poster and carpet were moved along. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why
Oh, I
would the
know why.
culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of... Actually, an even bigger question. Then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room? To get into the locker rooms, you got Chihiro's handbook. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin.
No, she did have a way.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you.
Alright, now we're gonna hear Crazy Man talk.
Broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She
Can
must
we
have
talk
hacked her
about-
e-handbook! She
Can
was
we
the
talk
ultimate
about how
programmer,
Celeste
after all.
sounds kinda like Google
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it.
She used the thing.
Huh?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that, she could
Get into the boys' locker room, no problem.
No! No!
That's why you have the
Could Chihiro
press
really
face.
She must have hacked. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have. No, I don't. She used the thing.
Huh?
I'm talking about.
About Leon's handbook, of course.
Come on, now he sounds like a real smoker.
Wrong.
Leon's handbook, of course.
What do you mean? I didn't smoke like 10 pounds
No,
of coke.
I don't think Chihiro used
I didn't
Leon's handbook.
smoke an
Why not?
entire,
Because
like,
Leon's
ton of
handbook was broken.
weed
Oh.
before this.
Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible.
Oh, yeah,
huh?
there's only one guy dead.
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and.
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook.
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initialist. It seems like there's no way she could have got into.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
No.
Hold on a second.
Is this intermission?
I agree with you, though.
Yes,
I
it's
think
the
we'll have to-
intermission part.
You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say. There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right?
Why are you so
Says
sure she couldn't get in?
Mondo.
Mondo, why are you
There's still one
sweating,
other
boy?
way she could have gained.
Mondo, what you doing there,
What are you
buddy?
talking about? What other way is?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you.
Wait.
Don't worry. This will make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Huh? For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Do I stop it now?
You want to?
Is it? When's the is there another intermission?
This is the only reset.
All right, I'll stop it after this one. All right.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom.
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully.
This guy.
No, wait!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl.
I can't wait
shouldn't
for
have to
her
touch a dead body.
reaction.
Just let one of the boys do it.
I mean, you're more of a girl than they are. You're more of a boy than they are.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
It's like weird talk. It says,
Sakura.
you're a girl?
What is this? Some kind of secret girl on girl action? Is that what you are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Be sure to check her
Her entire body. What? This is... What is this? Not possible. It's not possible.
Not possible.
To go even further beyond.
Is what?
Is a boy.
I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting.
I wanted to make
Okay, and then the next one's Panic.
What? You're joking, right?
All like throughout
wouldn't
this
joke
entire
about this.
investigation, and I got all
it's
this
really
stuff.
true?
I wanted to be like, well, you know, the hero's a guy.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a god.
Then
Totally
he was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting.
Interesting.
Yes, that certainly does make things much more
Oh my
exciting.
God.
Now let's ride this
Love
wave of I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial.
Well, I remember my reaction when I first saw Chihiro was a guy.
What was your reaction?
I was like, wait, what?
I know, it blows your mind, right, man?
Then I was like, was a guy?
What?
Yeah, my mind just is like
these trials blow your mind.
Yeah,
that's why I love this game so much. All right, so I'm gonna. Well, sorry to cut this short, but I'm gonna cut this in half, and the next trial will be right here.